Labaron, we've been asking your teammates about you, and they say that you bring it in practice every day, that your intensity is like what they saw tonight. How fulfilling was it for you personally to go out there and have a night like you had tonight?
Yeah, they challenged me a lot, and I can't do nothing like just thank them for challenging me. You know, ever since I first got here, and just listening to me as a young guy and letting me lead a lot. So that's a great thing, and just me being able to put on for them. That's one of my best feelings ever.
When did you know that you were having it going on tonight?
As soon as he woke up.
Nah, it was definitely something in the air, but you know, ever since we got in the gym, we shot around, and I love the feeling. You know, we just playing on the big stages, like the big stage courts. So that was a great feeling.
Nate always talks about finishing at the rim. Non-conference, you show that you can finish ferociously at the rim. How much is that in your head when you drive the lane that you need to finish and finish strong in this conference?
You know, in the conference play, you know, we in one of the best leagues, and you know, some teams gonna have shot blockers, and some teams gonna have guys protect the rim. So, you know, my finishing dropped a little bit, but once he got on to me about it, every time I get to the rim, I just try to put somebody through the rim. So, just being a physical driver.
Jaron Stevenson had a hell of a night too. He's really starting to extend his range. He was in double digits tonight. When that guy who gives his all every night on the defensive end plays that well offensively, how dangerous can this basketball team truly be?
Yeah, he's one of the guys that we call him one of the stronger driving guys on our team in practice. You know, he drives the ball. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to guard him that hard, and you know the coaches get on to him a lot. You know, he's a young guy, but you know, just giving him confidence to go out and be like, you know, you can do whatever you just put your mind to, and he did that tonight, and he actually played well for us, so that was a great thing.
Thank you.
What excites you the most about playing Florida tomorrow?
You know, we get to play them again. They're a great team. You know, like the things they do, but for us, really just getting that game back and be ready for another matchup with them.
Now that we're in the postseason, where do you feel like you've grown the most since game one of the season to now in the postseason where we are right now?
Being able to just calm down, not turn the ball over, and find guys while I'm doing it. You know, I started the game off with, I'd say 3 live. I think Cliff, you know, he missed one, but I told him I'm going to keep finding you, so I just try to find other guys as much as I can. That helped me, you know, just calm myself down.
Everybody who loves college basketball knows how good Kentucky has been historically. To put a beating on them like that tonight on the national stage in the SEC tournament, how much confidence does that give you?
You know, we had beat them 2 times, but I really didn't think about that, you know, because I didn't want to, you know, think about that too much. And they come out and build a lead on us, and, you know, we go down in that game, but you know, we started out right, so after I got, you know, the feeling that we was going to go out and, you know, get them a punch, I just felt great about, you know, the game, and it just led to great things.
Labaron, why can this team win an SEC championship, in your opinion?
You know, we got a lot of guys that want it, that wants to, my bad. We got a lot of guys that want to win, you know, and just want to battle it out and want to be battle tested, so we're going to see them.
What have the veterans on this team told you about playing here on this stage, playing for an SEC title, and how are you taking that advice?
You know, the deeper you get in the tournament, the louder it get. You know, I thought it was loud out there. You know, they had a lot of fans come and support them. You could barely hear the coaches at sometimes. So imagine if we got to play at Florida or Auburn. It's crazy.
Labaron, Mark said you play older than a freshman. Where does that maturity come from on the court?
Really a lot of backyard basketball, playing against family and friends and my dad and my brothers, cousins, really just playing against all older guys. You know, it really prepped me to be older-minded, and you can see the game very well.
When did you know that you were going to have a nice night tonight? I mean, obviously you were aggressive early. When did you know that this was going to be a good night for you?
I would say prepping for the game, and then, you know, going over there and stepping on that mat, grip mat, touching back of my numbers, and just saying thank you to God that I'm here as a freshman. So that was great.
When you guys are playing like that, up and down, different guys involved, scoring in transition, that's sort of your old happy place, the way you guys play basketball. And to play like that going into the NCAA, how big is that?
Really just, if we play in transition like that, I find it really hard for people to beat us just because our depth and guys going to get tired on their team, and we're going to have guys coming in really fresh off the bench and ready to go on our team. So that's a great advantage for us to use.
What do you think about the performance you just put on?
You know, we gotta get a good one tomorrow, so I'm not really too stuck up on that.
Next game.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the next game?
Stop their guards, get them inside the line. We gotta be up to touch. You know, they're gonna try to shoot a lot of threes, and you know, containing Walter Clayton.
Have a good day, Labaron.
Yes, sir.
What's it say about your team that you guys could lose on a miracle at the buzzer in Tennessee, get beat at home physically by Florida, and then come back and play what you guys have through the school?
You know, not being too high or too low on a win or a loss. On a loss, you know, these guys, they respond great on a loss. Like, nobody hangs their heads. You know, we probably do something after we lost, do something together as a team. And, you know, whenever we lose, I don't, you know, really have any feelings about it because it's just like, if we right there, we know our mistakes and we know what we can fix. And so the coaches, they just emphasize and just keep being locked in, and we're going to get this done. So.
Would you say you're a pop star, kind of kick things off tonight and kind of led to this dominant performance over the start?
Just getting easy runouts and getting assists, that really helped me like get the juice and be like, yeah, it's about to be that time. So.
What would you say is the biggest lesson or lessons that you've learned from Mark Sears, and what has it been like playing with him in the starting lineup?
You know, for me, it's just like I didn't play with a lot of good guys, you know, in my career, but you know, just playing with him, he's a different type of, you know, scorer. You know, he can score in all ways. I didn't see him. You know, I regard him in practice, but for me, it's really just trying to get him the ball more in open space. You know, telling him when to get down to the corner, telling him when, you know, I'm gonna set this screen over here and use on the other side and ready to shoot, because most teams, they don't know how to game plan for you. Like, they was going under on him. That's a crazy thing to do, because every time I went under in practice, just foul. So really just trying to get him in rhythm, really gonna help his team.
What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
I would say having a bye week, I really had, you know, I would say I wasn't, like my legs wasn't there, but, you know, in the first couple of minutes, my legs felt a little heavy. Just because, you know, we was bye week and we had to get it back going. But once I start running, got going, it was really good.
Big movie, bro.
Yeah. Michael, Chucky, Joker, these. So.
What do they say? Oh, why so serious?
Yeah.
I didn't see Chucky.
Yeah, on the inside.
Oh, okay.
And really just my favorite horror movie that I like to watch. So.
Why not heroes? Why villains?
Because I don't want to say it, but they look at me as a villain guy because I'm always trying to be good on the defensive end. But, you know, just it comes from some of my favorite movies, especially this one.
Yeah, gotcha. Where does your name come from, Labaron? Is there any story behind that?
Nah, not that I heard of, but, you know, I never heard of
It's a unique name.
Nickname? I got a couple of nicknames. People call me Baron. Most of my teammates call me Baron. So.
It looked like you might have changed your undershirt mid-game. Was there anything that was for, or were you just kind of feeling going sleeveless?
To start off the game, I think I had this Alabama shirt on, and you know it was a lot more like space, and I would say I needed something tight, you know, just I can just lift it up, because in a big shirt you try to lift the shot up, your arm might get caught, but you know, I just wanted to put a tighter shirt on so I can be able to just maneuver and move.
What was Florida able to do against you guys?
Get a lot of lobs, play in transition. You know, we wasn't communicating on who's supposed to get back. Cost of easy buckets. So I know they had some buckets that I think we could have stopped them from getting, you know, especially before the half. And just second half is being able to contain the ball and keep their best guard out of the paint and keep their bigs from rolling behind and getting lobs and dunks.
Looking forward to another shot. Looking forward to another shot.
Yeah.
How's it feel to beat Kentucky 3 times in one season?
It was good. I really didn't think about it like that. It's because I didn't want them, to come in and punch us, and I'd just be like, all the guys thinking, oh, we beat them 2 times. But, everybody was locked in. I didn't hear nobody say that at all. So coming into the game, it was all open spirits.
Labaron, when Nate moved you back into the starting lineup a couple weeks ago and kind of has had you playing point guard, Mark playing off the ball a little more, what's that kind of development and growth been like between you and him, and how y'all kind of learned to play with each other?
Just with me, my ability to play on and off the ball really, help us. But, when he moved me back to the starting lineup, I went down with like a little ankle injury, and it was hard for me to just like move. So brought me off the bench. It was great just to experience that coming off the bench. And then when he put me back in the starting lineup, I started getting healthier, and it was just like great. So he always told me just like give him the ball, he gonna do his thing. So, and he does his thing when he gets the ball.
Play with a lot of energy. Just what would you say your confidence level is at right now?
I would say it's good. I don't really think about it no more. I used to do a lot of overthinking, and the coaches would tell me just go out and play your game because they know what I'm capable of. But just being able to have a chill mindset and go out there and play, it's going to take all the stress away.
Your teammates say that like the energy and passion that you play with is infectious. It kind of rubs off on them. Can you tell that that's the case whenever you get hype after a play or something like that?
Yeah, it's really me just being funny on the court, like joking with them every time they get mad or something. I just like tell them a joke or something just to get their heads, like make them laugh or something. And it's been going good. All the guys trust me and I trust them, so it's really a brotherhood.
How much do you enjoy just taking pride in being that like juice guy, that high energy guy defensively after you make a stop, knowing it kind of, like you said, energizes the rest of your guys? Just how great is that for you, and how do you let that kind of help fuel your defense and stuff like that?
It's fun, whenever you be able to get stops and play against good offensive teams, and you be able to get stops and run on them. They're not getting back as usual, so it's pretty fun when everybody's just playing off their love and just sharing the ball, and just being one of those guys that can bring the energy up, pick the energy up. I feel like we always needed that.
How did you time that block against Williams, the dunk?
I seen him bring it. I think he was trying to cock it back a little bit, and I seen an opportunity for me to put my hand in there and grab it. My bad. Put my hand in there and grab it, and most short guys, they probably want to try to make that play, but me, just being defensive hungry, I was trying to get another stop.
Did he think you fouled him?
Nah, not at all. I grabbed the ball.